What's up, boys and girls? Big Hundy here, bringing you two separate games back to back in the AMX30 Tier 9 French medium tank. Full disclosure, got pissed off with the 1390 free XP to the Top Gun on this and didn't look back. Really like this tank. I've only had a few horrible games in it. These two games happened today, back to back. Nothing special, nothing crazy. Normally I wait until I have a beast game, ace tanker replay to upload, but I was having too much fun with this, and a couple of the boys were asking for a replay. So here you go. Two back-to-back games. Muravanka to start, top tier snapshot to the Tiger 2 pens. Waiting to see if I can scope another shot. Nope, doesn't come off. A few things surprised me about this tank right off of the bat. I wasn't expecting the mobility to be so good. It's a little tiny bit slow off of the get-go, but I think the top speed's something like 65, and it gets there pretty easily after the first 100 meters or so. You'll notice I try to do a lot of snapshots in this tank, and I don't have the snapshot perk, so I really should be aiming these in. It's fairly accurate once aimed in, like that. But it's not like an M46 pattern where I can just auto lock and click the button and I'm gonna hit it. It's not that good. But that, to me, is the direct competition with this tank. Is the Tier 9 American M46 pattern. They both have some kind of strange miracle armor on the turret. The effective armor profile isn't huge, but for some strange reason the odd tank will bounce off the turret. Tiniest little shot into the Scorp G. It hits. When you aim in, this tank is incredibly accurate, even though the accuracy rating is not as good as the E50 or the M46. But it's the soft stats of this gun that make it nice. Beta shot from those guys. Try to scope a shot on the Freedom's machine gun port and it doesn't come off. But this is what I like to do in this tank. Second line, on a ridge, poking back and forth, trying not to expose too much of my tank. I don't know where that shot went. I think it dipped into the dirt. Probably wasn't fully aimed in. But I try to be patient at the beginning of these battles, even though I'm top tier. I don't have a lot of armor, especially in the hull. But I decide that I don't want them to cap this base out, and I come down into this little dip and try to get rear shots on these guys. So a surprise butt sucks into the IS-2, but he wisely realizes that he's getting shot from the back and he turns around. So props to him. A lot of people, it takes a few shots to realize where shots are coming from, but he comes right over and he hits me pretty hard there. I hit him back for 413, and I don't really want to get hit by him again. He's got a pretty big gun and it's gonna pen me every time. But somebody snipes him. I bait a shot from the captured Tiger and try to hit his cupola, but it damages his viewport instead. That happens to me a lot in the Tiger 2. I try to shoot that little tiny cupola and it doesn't come off. It's not really a weak point. Rear end of the T10 is going to pen every time. The APCR standard of this tank, now this is messed. This is messed. Watch this. I don't know where that shot went. His track ate it. That's the rear end of a T-32. I was getting pretty frustrated. Then I shot him again. Don't know where that went. I remember this sequence now and I was getting really frustrated. Don't know where that went. Like, I played the T-32. The front of the turret is really good. The hull is not good. I don't know what was going on with those shots, but APCR standard, 260 millimeters of average APCR penetration, and I'm bouncing off the back of a T-32. Okay. For poorly aimed shot on the prototype misses. Second one goes in. He's not even aiming at me, but Sixth Sense, and boom. My favorite tank in the game, the M53, M55, leaves me on 7 hit points. If you're listening Wargaming, which you probably aren't, the increase to the reload time was not a nerf to that tank. So they just wait an extra 8 seconds to twat you. You need to remove ventilation and decrease the accuracy. Snapshot on the IS-3 only tracks him. And I take him out. Now, they're down at the K3, H3 area, but I want some redemption on that dirtbag clicker. So look at the mobility of the AMX30. Through these hills I'm reaching 60 no problem, 65, easily reaching my top speed. I think it has a 1,000 horsepower engine, if I remember correctly. I'm not going to go through all the stats. You can go through the game stats yourself. I don't think it's as good as the E50, but I think there's elements to it that are better than the E50. The standard ammunition penetration is better. I think the E50 is around 215, 220. Yeah, it must be 220. And this is 260. But the E50 gets AP, and this gets APCR standard. But the E50 outclasses it in armor by a long shot. But the AMX30 is more mobile. There's another shot I tried to snap off. I should have aimed that one in. And Squid'll like this one. I missed the shot on the AMX 1357. Somebody tracks him. I was going in for the ram. I missed him. And he takes me out. I only had 7 hit points left. He messaged me after and said good game. So good game to him too. But onto the stats page. What is that? 5,800 combined. 1,600 base. Top of the team, class 1. Like I said, nothing magical, but this is my average game in the AMX30, which for me is really good. I'm no super unicum elitist bastard, you know, this is potato gaming. And for me to do something like that in a tier 9 tank is making me feel really good about my decision to bust out the black card and go to the top package on this tank. But you don't see a lot of these tanks. I've actually been seeing more and more now that I came over to Xbox. But on PlayStation, I don't think I saw one of these tanks in the year and a half I played on PlayStation. So it's a fairly rare tank. Most people go for the Bat Chat. The AMX30B, the tier 10 after this, is regarded as fairly mediocre. You basically get the exact same gun, but your cupola is 5 times the size, so I don't really get it. Obviously the soft stats or something is increased, but anyway, we're over here on Icebound, my least favorite map in the game. It's not even close. I cannot stand this map at all. It's a tier 10 battle this time, so I'm being a little bit more cautious. This Motherland's pushed over to this hill, and I don't really want to peek without help, because some of their tier 10 TDs could be camping back there and ready to twat me as I come over. But I get a little help here. I think it's a 7-1. comes to my right here in a second. Yeah, there he is. I think that's a Centurion. Can't really tell. So I decide to go over and gangbang him with him. And I shoot him once, twice. And I decide he's probably going to get taken out. I should pay attention to what's in front of me. Already takes a lob shot over. I don't know who he's hitting at, but... Now, I decide to keep pushing. I have support here. The view range of the AMX30 and the camo is actually pretty good. I can typically spot for myself and for my team quite easily. So that's probably why I'm getting class 1s. My guess is the super unis are doing some serious assisted damage in this tank. So I spot 50B, and I don't know what he's doing there. This guy messaged me after this game as well. I was hoping it was going to be rage mail, but it wasn't. So hats off to him for not getting frustrated. But I believe he was mad at his team for not helping him. But I'm trying to scope a shot out on him. I can't. I figure I'd probably spot if he had any friends. My teammates have left me and gone into the town. But we're leading by one tank. Or no, we're even now. So I spot the Artie. You know that makes me stop in my tracks because nothing makes me happier than taking out a clicker. And I two-shot the German Tier 10 artillery. And that entire time I didn't get spotted by the 50B. So my guess is he doesn't have a very good crew. My guess is he's probably not a very good player. He reveals his rear drive wheel to me. I track him. He fixes it. I bounce a miraculous shot somehow off of his tank. He's clipping me out. I'm trying to fix my track because the repair wheel's garbage. But I think he's... Oh, he's out. He's out. Damage his gas tank. I aim in on the same place. And you're on fire, bud. Thanks for coming out. That's why you don't camp at the back by yourself. He was blaming his team in the messages that he sent me, but really, that's not a good spot for 50B to be in. You need to play those French autoloaders with support, because if you don't clip out what you're running into, that's what's going to happen. I have an 8-second reload. Once you're done your clip, he has a, what, 35-second reload? You better make sure to hit all 4 shots into me. Some sick air there. Snapshot into the Emil 2 tracks him. Like if that, I feel like if I was in the M46 patent there, that would have penned. That's the main difference, I think. Maybe it would have penned in the E50, but I'd say like 80% of the time in the M46 patent that would have penned. So another on the move snapshot, and I finally get him. He hits me somehow. I flub a shot. My tracks eat one. And I reload in time to take him out. Not sure what he was doing there. So, interesting little exchange here before the end of the video. I think I was a little too overconfident in my peekaboom tactics here and the ability to have these 2 tanks. But hit his shot into the lower plate of the E75. I was pulling back and he still hit me. I'm pretty surprised by that. I wasn't mad. I still had a pretty decent game. 21 pens with the fire on the E50 or the 50B, sorry. So I was fine. Fine to show this, even though the E75 got me at the end. So there's the 2 games in the AMX30. Another Class 1, top of the team. 4,800 damage. No assisted damage that time, though. Catch you guys next time.